Oh, hello there!
Hi there everybody, I'm your host Excessive Gamer, and today we're going to be talking about a different topic. Now this topic is more of a school class project, but if you could just take 12 to however long this video is going to last and just give it a quick listen, and if you would like, in the comments put your personal opinion. Now today's video is going to be talking about outlet media bias, or biased media outlets. Now when I talk about this, I mean how one media outlet can throw something that is completely incorrect or just a white lie and then try and slander the other political side or just the personal opinion of someone. Now, I'm going to be picking out two large media outlets. One will be Fox News, the next will be CNN, and then I'll be picking out a third small one, and as my fourth and final one, it'll be a personal media outlet. Now, I'm going to address the white elephant in the room right now. I am conservative. I do believe in more right side ideologies, whether it's the border wall, less background checks, supporting our troops in the military and pulling them out, and that kind of situation. But I will try and make this as unbiased on my part as I can. But I can't make that many promises because I will be reading from multiple articles and trying to cite what is biased. So don't think that I'm throwing these words out of the thin blue air, or the thin air. Air is not blue. But I will have to be a little more biased just because of what I'm reading. Now we're going to be starting off with Fox News. Fox News has been on this planet for about 24 years, and throughout those 24 years, they've made a lot of reportings. Whether it was the election of George W. Bush, or the attack on the Twin Towers, or just 9/11, the voting of Obama, the Parkland shooting, Trump's administration and Trump being voted in, and the whole impeachment situation right now. Next, we will be talking about CNN, but for right now, we're going to be sparking onto a topic that I found on Fox News. So let's start off with Fox News. Fox News has made over 1 million articles, but one that sparked a light in my eyes was Virginia legislation is all about control. Now, knowing Fox News to being a far-right side party, of course they're going to try and gain the viewing of Second Amendment viewers. But where is the line when it comes to being too far? Well, first off, this article mainly states more bashing on those who support the red flag law than actually trying to attack the idea of the red flag law. Now, I'm going to give an example of what the red flag law is in case you didn't know. The red flag law is a law that makes sure if somebody's been, let's put it this way, if the FBI has been notified before of someone who has seemed to be a bit of a danger with rifles, they might have a lower chance of actually being able to apply a FOID card or be able to apply for a gun. I'm going to put two people. Let's say we have James and Zach. Well, James has lived on this planet for about 22 years, as well as Zach. James has gone to high school and passed with a GPA of 3.9. Zach has passed with a GPA of 3.5. The GPAs don't really matter, it's just to give them a little bit more of a background. James went off to become an electrician, while Zach went off to become a law enforcement officer. Now, during Zach and James's time, James made a bit of an oopsie and posted a photo on his Instagram with a gun in his backpack saying, well, looks like it's that time. Well, now that James has now posted that on media, people have most likely reported this to not only Instagram, but Instagram will probably push this towards the FBI. Now that instantly starts the red flag law. James will now be under surveillance by the FBI up until the point where he actually applies for a FOID card and tries to purchase a gun. Now this will make it a very difficult situation for James. James, not knowing at the time because he was a kid, he made a mistake, will now have to work even harder to be able to apply for a FOID card, where Zach never did any of this and will have an easier chance at being able to apply for one, as well as being able to purchase a gun. Now, for starters, when it comes to the article I'm going to be reading, This article already throws out a insulting quote. Now, I'm not saying anything that Fox says is offensive, although they do say some things that can be disrespectful towards people, and I'm going to put it this way. Facts do not care about your feelings, and feelings are only hurt when one or more people in the same group are hurt. This time, multiple people will probably be hurt because of this. Now, the irony, and this is the quote, the irony is when they talk about gun control, where do you think they're going to implement these laws the most? They're going to implement them on a minority city. Now, that statement is false to me. Like me saying I have a girlfriend. I don't. Now, red flag laws have been around since 1999, and the first one that was put into effect in Connecticut Now, when I look at the statistics for Connecticut's occasion to other race scales, it's white, 76.36%, black or African American, 10.56%, other race, 5.17%, and Asian, 4.43%. Now, if I made the definition of minority, the smaller number or part, especially a number that is less than half the whole number. But if we look at the crime rate in Connecticut, the black to white crime rate seems to be in favor of blacks. Now, when I looked at this rate, it seemed to flip-flop. For 2000 to 2001, it would be whites had a higher crime rate. 2001 to 2002, same thing. Whites would have a higher crime rate. But then to 2002 to 2003, blacks would have a higher crime rate. And it would keep going. It would go back and forth. Now, I'm not going to instantly say that each state or city is going to have a higher crime rate or a higher white crime rate, or they're going to flip-flop like how Connecticut is. But what I'm going to say is Fox News made a false or biased statement on why the red flag law would be passed. Now, that's been addressed. Now that we've covered a Fox article, we're going to be going on to CNN, another biased media outlet. Fake news. Nah, but I'm going to honestly be as unbiased as I can when reading this article. Down to the pieces that I can put in this video. This quote of the article, or not quote of the article, but the article's title is, "Yes, there is such a thing as right-wing terrorism." Now, over the years, CNN has showed its rudeness towards conservatives and liberals. Now, hell, their ratings started to plummet after Trump went into office and they started spreading white lies. Not only had they decided to bring up a native bashing a drum in front of a college student's face, but they decided to say that this student was harassing a native. I will be pulling this video up someday and reviewing it, even though it's been a solid year or two now. But it just goes to show that they're going to throw lies out. But none worse speaks than this article that we're about to read. Now, when CNN published this article, I'm going to make a guess that they thought this was a great idea, trying to expose those evil terrorists that decide to hide in a Daily American or a Daily Conservative, pretending to be somebody that they aren't. And nope, no, CNN, they just decided to throw this shit out. Instead, CNN went on the yellow shit road by saying that any conservative in the country, whether they were born here or moved here, could and will be a terrorist. The quote, "Leftist terrorists have not killed anyone during this period in the United States, though an anti-Trump fanatic shot and gravely wounded Representative Steve Scalise of Louisiana, senior House Republican, last year in Virginia when he was attending a baseball game." What? Alright, we're gonna break this down real quickly. Leftist terrorists have not killed anyone during this period in the United States. First off, it doesn't matter if you're not a terrorist. Actually, it does matter if you're not a terrorist or you are a terrorist. You can't just state some shit like that. Leftist terrorists have not killed anyone during this period. Well, they're still a terrorist. Alright? Now let me throw down the definition of terrorism. The unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. This man shot a representative of the Republican, the senior House Republican he was. He could have gravely shot him. And in fact, he did. He could have killed him. But CNN decides to try and make this so we feel bad for the gunman in a way. They try and make it so that conservatives or Republican terrorists always kill, and never a leftist terrorist has killed somebody during the period of the United States. That's bullshit. Alright? I will be pulling up some links and putting them in my description to let you guys see what I mean. But for right now, I'm going to get through this article with the rest of what they said. Now, I'm going to restate this. Now, if you're going to sit there and tell me, not only that no left-wing terrorist, that in itself is alarming, that they didn't make a big statement of a lefty being a terrorist, by the way, shooting a senator, but the senator who was attending a baseball game where kids were, is not an act of terrorism, then I'll just hang my coat, live the rest of my life in a box, begging for change. But that's not what I'm going to do, because that right there is grade A fucking bias. Now, all media outlets have their oopsies, but it can't be worse than anything else they've said. No. The rest of their articles, that'll be for a future video if I ever bring this back up. Now, my last news media outlet is more about the in-between of media bias. These people don't like to throw lies or disrespect around. They just want to get straight to the facts. The good old NPR is who I'm talking about, and now this article is just a year after the Parkland shooting, hence the name of the article, NRA facing most formidable opposition yet, a year after Parkland. Now, when the NPR talked about this topic, I couldn't really find anything against the left or the right. It was just pure facts and not that many opinions. Here's a quote that I found. This is the first sustained, well-funded opposition that the NRA has ever faced, and the gun rights group acknowledged this new dynamic. Now, when they talked about this, they were talking about not only the entire United States, where students would go out on a strike, talking about how guns should not be given until you're 21, all the way up until the fact where there should be more people in the school who carry guns. It was such a hectic situation after the shooting. But that's not where it stopped. AR, Armalite Rifle, was sued for the death of the Parkland students. Now, I'm not going to be putting my 50 cents into this video, but in the future I will make a return to this topic. But I will throw this out. What actually happened was, and yes, Armalite Rifle was sued for the incident. Thousands of family members around Parkland, hell, the entire country had people suing Armalite for the death of those students. You can't blame, in my opinion, you can't blame a gun brand because somebody went out and used that gun in an act of terrorism. Now, when the NPR talked about this, once again, I couldn't find any quotes or sightings attacking anyone's beliefs. And this is what I feel all these media outlets should be doing. They just wanted to get the facts out to the public and set the word straight. These media outlets want to be able to gain more viewings, whether it means they have to sprinkle a few lies or completely say something that's so far out of the water that a fucking rock wouldn't believe it, but that's still pick them in ratings. That's the problem. Media outlets have gone so far from being honest that they now have to lie just to be able to gain people's opinion or trust and views. I remember when, and I wasn't old enough to fully understand this, but I remember when I got older and I rewatched the 9/11 videos. All of these media outlets were working together to get the facts out immediately, to let people around the city to know, evacuate, let the law enforcement and firemen know where the buildings that were struck were. Hell, they wanted to get the media out to let the whole country know that we were under attack. They didn't lie. They didn't say it was a conservative that struck the plane, nor was it a liberal or a libertarian or whatever party you are. They wanted to get those facts out so people would be safe and people would know what the hell just happened. But now, with Trump in office, and I'm going to say it, Trump was a big factor for this. I respect his political opinions, but the problem with this is Nowadays, media outlets want him out. Not only do they want him out, they want more views because everything is dying, so they have to lie, and it's not okay. They're being biased, and you can't really trust them. You have to take every single source now with a grain of salt. You could literally wake up tomorrow, look at your phone, look at your newspaper, look at the TV, listen to the radio, and you could hear that the fucking sky is falling. And you wouldn't believe it, but they'd say it so they could get ratings. That's not okay. It truly isn't. That's not what media outlets are supposed to be. They're supposed to be able to give the facts without any lies in it. Now, I think we all know what's going to happen next. Let's go on to a trustworthy site that I trust. So, I was going to do a fourth media source and then just make it like a parody or a skit or something, but then realized, why make a parody when you could actually give your own stance and opinion on media sources nowadays? In my opinion, I don't actually have a preferred media source. I only really go off of who I can trust, and it's not going to be the NPR, Fox News, or CNN. It's really just going to go down to the bone of, I'm going to read 3 articles each day and put them together because most likely they'll all be of the same thing. And I will go off of what seems to be correct. I won't trust all this lies and hoax and crap. It's not fair to be lied to and have to follow after these people so they can bring in money from the views. So, yeah. I really don't have a fourth view or a media outlet that I would choose. So, yeah. Now, as usual, I'm still going to sign off like I usually do. But instead, I'm just going to go with a normal goodbye instead of I'm your host, Excessive Gamer, later. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this informational video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.